And we are live today, folks. How are you guys doing today?
All right.
Pretty
Doing
good.
fine.
Try everything new there.
Yep, that's exciting. We are back with Descent into Avernus Part 6. I'm really excited. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. If you don't know, I am your host, Total Doom Us. I am the host of the Dungeons and Dragons podcast Crit Academy, where we bring you new and reusable material for both players and DMs. But every so often we like to get together, sit around a table, except for social distancing at the moment, and play a little bit of D&D. And so we are on part 6, and I'm looking forward to this. If you want to check us out, head on over to critacademy.com. We got lots of goodies there. We just released our Weapon Perks product, which is additional weapon options for all of the weapons in the player's handbook, making each little weapon choice matter. If you want to hear more about that, maybe come and join us on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. We will be doing our main topic. Will be on our weapon perks. I'm excited to share all that stuff with you guys. So that being said, thank you for joining us today. What we'll do is we'll go around and we'll have each of our players introduce themselves, tell us who they're running, and we will do a short refresher on the journey thus far. Ian, would you like to tell everyone first? Talk to everyone first.
First and foremost, I'm Ian, and I'm playing the human artificer. Yeah, I can't talk today. I am playing the human artificer, Merle Bronson.
Very cool. Austin?
Hey guys, I'm Austin. I'm a co-host at Crit Academy, and I am currently running a Voidwalker Paladin who goes by the name Zorax. Which, if you haven't seen the Voidwalker, take a look at it. It's cool.
Oh yeah, you need to. It's pretty dope. And last but certainly not least, Matt.
My name is Matthew, and I play Chiron, the Tiefling Paladin, who has the Oath of Vengeance.
Yes. So, if you're counting, that's 2 paladins. Damn it.
Yeah.
So I got 2 mighty smiters in addition to their ridiculous defenses and shit. So that's been quite the journey for me.
Yeah.
Defenses.
And then your artificer just wrecking shit. So it's been great.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun. So does anybody want to give us a short, for those who are joining us the first time, give a short rundown of where we're at and how we got here?
We are on our way to Candle Keep because of the city of Elturel is gone, and its lord, High Overseer Davius Krieg, somehow ends up in the basement of a devil-worshipping noblewoman in Avernus. Baldur's Gate. I almost got that mixed up. We managed to extract him out of the basement and the sewers of the property. Managed to turn him into the Flaming Fists of Baldur's Gate, which is a militia group, in which Zorax over here is a member of.
Yeah.
And we've also brought with us a talking golden shield.
And what's in that? Go ahead.
And apparently touching it nearly killed Zorax, ?
But I'm okay now.
Somehow.
What did you guys find out was in it? A Deva was trapped in it?
Yeah, a Deva named, what was it?
Is it like a Laster?
Alistar.
And so you guys met a few people, and you managed to rescue Fallister Fisk, who mentioned that he is actually working under a very well-informed Silvera Silvacus, a tiefling who knows all about and is studying the outer planes and all this stuff of what's going on. So he has encouraged you to reach out to her to better understand what's going on. You guys have made the travel You did run into a little bit of risk. You were in an area of what's the word? I don't remember what it was called, but
A
it had
city of pickpockets.
yeah. Well, that's not what it's called, but that's basically what it was, right?
It was a sea of pickpockets.
Uh, um, so you guys
Pretty
had
much a whole ton
hell
of
of
them.
a hell of a ride there with all the bandits and
Pickpockets and
stuff.
cutthroats
Cut
is
purse.
probably what.
It's Worms Crossing was the cut purse's paradise.
That's what it was.
Unfortunately, you
Yeah.
guys did get your belts were a little lighter at the end of it, but you did manage to fend off somebody who actually seemed very interested in the shield. It was a Cambion,
Yep.
who and his minions who assaulted you in an attempt to steal the shield.
I kick
Yep.
his butt.
Yeah, you guys. That seemed like a pretty fun fight. I enjoyed it. The fact that you could fly kind of threw me off, but that made it all the more interesting. So
The fact I can
I
fly
honestly-
through the Cambion off.
I honestly think we could have had him if we brought him to the ground, because then it would be a 3-on-1 situation.
That's why he was in the air.
I was gonna say that's probably why I flew in the air. But anyways, so you already have touched the depths of the nine hells. That's really your first experience, your second experience with something from the nine hells, right? You did end up fighting a devil before. So you guys have over the last 4 days. Also, Matthew, please give yourself inspiration. You do a great job reciting everything that happened. So thank you for that. Steve says that airborne grapple though. Yeah, somebody get pile drived right into the ground or something.
Yeah, we I made us dive bomb each other.
Yeah,
That went poorly for me, more so than for him, because not only did we dive bomb into the ground, which is half damage for him, we dive bombed into a flaming wagon, which is no damage for him and damage for me.
So over the past 4 days, the weather on the coastway has gradually worsened. Dark clouds release, heavy rain until the road runs thick with mud. Yet you guys continue to trudge on, passing by friendly merchant caravans, though with a little bit of hesitation after you were attacked by the winged Cambion. Ahead of you, you see a branching path from the wider road heading to the sea. A raven perches solemnly on the leaning post bearing two signs that point like arms towards the west. One says, "The Way of the Lion." The other says, "Candle Keep." Is it safe to assume you guys are going to Candle Keep?
Well,
I
Yes.
is our destination, so logically.
Right.
I want to hope so.
Always got to give you that option. I don't want you to tell people I'm railing. There's a fork in the road. You can go the other way if you want.
Surprise! They merge back together.
How? Why is the sign there to begin with?
So the afternoon sun shines through the clouds to illuminate the gray walls and the pale spires of a time-worn fortress that stands majestically atop a rocky promontory overlooking the sea. The trail leads straight to it. Now you can hear Fisk. He's getting really excited. You can see him. He's like, "Yay! I finally get back," and he's excited to really take a hot bath. So apparently there's baths here. He's kind of going on and on about it. As you guys approach, you have two guests with you, right? You have Fisk
Rhea
and you have
and
Rhea, right?
Yeah.
So at the gatehouse, you are greeted by three monks in purple robes, a human, a shield dwarf, and a sun elf. Around their necks hangs holy symbols of Denir, god of writing, whose symbol is a lit candle above an open eye. "Welcome to Candle Keep," says the elf in common. "A gift is required from those seeking admittance. You must donate a book, a scroll, or an item of knowledge that the library does not already have archived. Please present your gift for inspection."
I pull out my devil glaive that I found from the bearded devil. Would this suffice?
The three of them walk up and they hold out their hands as if to take it. I assume you give it to them.
Yeah.
They look at it and you notice the symbols on their chest glow. They start out dim and then get brighter and brighter, and then they flash. And he says, "I am sorry, sir, but one of these is already in our collection. What else do you have?" And you hear Fist saying, "I knew we should have went back to my house."
Well, that's unfortunate. We.
What about
This is the
that?
problem.
And he points at your shield, Zalister. The Emma and the dark, the you hear a kind of, you hear the telepathic Alistair reach out to you. Don't give me to him. Don't give me to him.
Unfortunately, the shield has to remain with me. But
Well, unfortunately, then we cannot allow you in because you see, it is the rule of the Candle Keep. There must be an item admitted into our collection that we do not have. That is the fee. If you do not know, this library contains the largest collection of any books, scrolls, tomes from all over the multiverse. So entrance isn't super easy. Do you guys want to give me an intelligence check?
sure,
I'll give mine a shot.
So
I got a flat 10.
Zorax is a soldier. What background is Chiron and Merle?
Sage.
Sage?
Acolyte.
Acolyte. So, what did you
And
get? Yep, go ahead.
I rolled a 10.
Okay.
16.
Okay.
I also rolled a 10.
So, Merle, in all your inventions and your collections, you must have made blueprints for your equipment. Do you think you might have some of those on you?
That's duh. Wow.
Well, let's see here. I got some diagrams for some mechanical inventions that are magical in nature.
Can you hand those to us? We will happily take a look.
It's a big scroll.
It rolls out like one of those stupid contracts that people do on TV where they drop down to the floor and just rolls out. He says, They take it from you, they hold it up, and they're all three holding it, stringing it out. It's like 15 foot long. Their things start to beep and flash, and then they dull. He says, "Well, what is your character's full name?"
Merle Bronson.
"Mr. Bronson, this is a fascinating piece. We here absolutely adore those of the engineering and arcane backgrounds, for you come up with the most creative things to add to our collection. And it would seem that this, in fact, is not something that we have. If you're willing to part with it, this will be enough to allow you to..." You hear immediately, before he even finishes, you hear Fisky, "Yes!" He's like, "I don't want to go back there." So they, do you guys have any questions for them before they, disperse?
Nope.
I guess not.
All right.
No.
So, at the gatehouse, they roll up the scroll, and you see him. He's just winding it up. He's like, "This is taking forever." As he gets it all rolled up, and they open these big, massive gates as they push inward, and you guys make your way in.
I'm under my breath. Not bad for a drawing my fancy flashlight.
You gave him a drawing of a flashlight. That's fantastic. Oh my gosh.
We in fact do not have something like this. You're like, oh wow, we're really behind on times.
The drawing looks that good.
It just looks fantastic.
So as you guys enter in, this is a very, it's almost like a monk-like monastery, right? You've got these really interesting gardens that are rock gardens with, looks like they dragged like lines through them, and they got these intricate traced lines with big giant like carved boulders in the middle of them. You make your way through the area, and you're constantly being welcomed. "Welcome to Candlekeep.
This is a
Welcome to
very
Candlekeep. Welcome to
feeling
Candlekeep. Yeah. You see,
to the previous two places we've been to.
right? um, and
We're welcome to.
yeah, everybody seems very welcoming. They don't seem there's no sort of aggression or anything. You do see all sorts of races. You see, there are mostly humans, but you pass a couple tieflings, some halflings, um, several elves, lots
The
of
Cathalons.
gnome tinkerers. What's that?
The Cathalons.
Whoa, jeez, what that? What?
All
Am
kinds
I,
of
s-
races.
Anyways, so
am I still the only Azamar in the area?
um,
I know they're kind of rare, but
you
surely
have
there has to be a few.
you have not seen one since you've entered.
Damn.
But surprisingly,
I'm a dying breed.
um, as you enter, you do spot a what looks like a traditional pub off to the western side of this keep.
Oh my god, I'm finally somewhere I can recognize.
And you'll know all the people are welcome. He says, "Please, what make yourselves visit the pub and get yourself a beverage before you get too busy. Because once you start exploring the wonderful riches of Candlekeep, you will not leave. So you want to get filled up on quench your thirst and fill your stomachs, because time will pass in an instant." Um, as you guys enter the this little hut, well, do you guys want to follow their advice, or do you want to try to head directly to Silvera?
I'll have
What?
I'll have a shot of whiskey.
I was gonna say, I feel like we've been traveling for a while, so sitting
You
down doesn't
have,
sound too
yeah,
bad. Yeah.
yeah. You
I have
guys, it's been
a-
I
like
think it's
4
been like,
days.
yeah, it's been a while. So,
I have a canteen of water.
Okay, so you walk in, and the pub has a low ceiling supported by a massive wooden cross beams and narrow shuttered windows. A large fire pit in the middle of the room is surrounded by a half dozen tables uh, and matching benches. You see, there's uh, this probably could hold comfortably maybe 30 people. You see dozens of different patrons kind of in there. As you guys are being offered beverages, you're being served by a very nice looking Goliath. Very well slender built, with long hair. And it's
It's like
hard to tell that it's she's got a very deep voice. And it takes you a second to realize that it's actually a female. And she says, "All right, what can I get you?
Water, please.
Water?"
Yes.
what's the hardest you got here?
Oh man, I'll tell you what. I made up a batch of a special brew. It's
Just give it to me.
It's. I took some of the bourbon toe and I altered it a little bit. All right.
That's, that sounds wonderful.
Yes.
Give it
So,
to me.
but don't tell bourbon toe, because he will bring his wrath upon thee. And nobody is supposed to have his recipe, but when he visited, he dropped it off. So shh.
I take my mask off and just set it on like the little kind of. I'm like, your secret's safe with me. Just fuck me up.
So
I mean,
what, what,
and Everclear.
what about you, floating man?
I'll have some whiskey.
All right. So she snaps her fingers, and several gentlemen come out. You see a red goatee man with a bald head. Kind of ends up serving you guys the hard stuff, and a small probably young teenage human girl, blonde hair, walks up and pours water, and she's got a nice little smile on her face. She says, "Welcome to Candle Cape. Is there anything else I can get for you?" Addressing Chiron.
No, thank you. I am fine.
He's like, women.
she turns around and says, "Where are y'all from? We always get adventurers in here. It's always nice to hear stories."
Somewhere not fun.
Pretty
What?
much.
Well, that sounds horrible. It's gotta be more exciting than this place, though. She looks around.
Ah.
Bunch of drunks, but intellectual drunks.
I was gonna say. I mean, I suppose exciting it could be a descriptor for what my home is.
She
I don't
said,
know if I'd call it a good descriptor, but it's one.
She says the only thing of excitement I've had in a while is that, and she points her finger back, and you see an ogre wearing a interesting looking headband. If you're trained in Arcana, give me an Arcana check, please.
Mm,
Nope.
I think that would only be Merle, but I always make sure that I at least offer it to you guys.
Yeah, why not? Throw in academic.
I am
They're
just
rolling
a
crap.
normal man.
13.
You recognize it as a headband of intellect, and he's sitting over there, and as
Cheater.
you see that he is reading a book titled "The Sum of Theology" by Saint Vethera, a servant of Ogma, the god of knowledge. She
Wow.
says, "Well, I'll get you guys taken up. If you need anything, just let me know. You can call me Bessie."
Thank you, Bessie. Because I'm just pounding this drink down like it's water.
Can I get you another one? The big innkeeper asks.
No, I probably shouldn't.
So she
I
goes,
don't have to
Yeah,
read
yeah.
books after this.
Rhea and Fisk are like, all right. They know that you guys are want to rest a little bit, but they're excited to visit. Fisk says basically says that I don't remember if I gave him a voice. He goes, well, I want to thank y'all kindly. Let me know when you're ready to see Sylvira. After that, I think we'll part ways. I don't really I don't want to get any more of that stuff. I think I'll just keep myself in a book. Safer there.
Yeah, I
Well,
can imagine.
I only lost a hand to one book, so it's mostly safer.
What?
I almost lost my hand to a book, so it's mostly safer. Damn little baby mimic got it. It was horrible.
Ugh. Oh, I'm just gonna read this book, and oh, my hand
Snap.
almost went missing.
All right, so you guys are able to kind of recuperate a little bit. You open up the menus. There's some really good stuff. There's bourbon toe on there. If you guys decide you guys want anything, if not, you just kick it for a little while.
I am ready whenever.
All
At
right.
this point,
So
I
I
have
got,
had my one drink. That's all I needed. Something
as
to
I'm
forget
looking
the
at the
troubles on the road.
as Chiron looks at the menu, so about that group name the Flaming Fist Commander gave us, ragtag, that just doesn't seem right to me.
It really doesn't flow off the tongue very well. I'll admit it.
You got any better ideas?
No. Buddy, I
Okay.
just slammed a whole pint of bourbon toe ale, and it's the harder stuff.
That's when the good ideas should be coming out.
I was thinking of something. Oh,
He's got a
what?
point.
I was thinking of somewhere.
Ain't that right, Shield? He's kind of got a point.
Well, yeah, I suppose. Damn, I just gave him Fallister's
Shield?
voice. Oh yeah.
Shield?
Yeah, it responds. It's kind of more of a grumble than anything else.
I just... We're gonna be great friends. As I'm just like batting it.
Grumble, grumble.
Did you guys catch what it said? I didn't really hear much.
No,
It sounded more like my stomach. Maybe it was my stomach. I don't think it was my stomach.
anyways, I was thinking somewhere along the lines of Crimson something. I just can't figure something out.
Crimson Defenders. Crimson
What the heck?
Thor.
You hear the barkeep is chuckling. Y'all need some work.
Crimson.
Anybody in chat got any good ideas?
Crimson.
They don't like ragtag.
Crimson.
Ian,
the
didn't you
Crimson
say something
Eye.
in a group chat
Probably.
one time?
Probably.
Crimson Eye. Crimson.
Why you?
Crimson.
All right.
Justice.
Crimson Coyotes?
It could be something.
Yes, ideas for party names.
Crimson Exiles.
Oops.
Ooh.
Don't know what that sounds.
I'm gonna like that one.
That
kinda
sounds
like-
ominous.
Oh, we are. Don't you look at us? Have you seen us
Old
recently? We
Handy
kind of kill
says
people.
Crimson Order.
Ooh, I like that one too, actually.
I mean, that sounds good, but that's just 3 of us.
Yeah.
Not much of an order
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I guess that's why Exiles kind of rolls a little
Ooh.
bit better. There's only 3 of
Alan
us.
Avery says the Crimson Condors.
Ooh.
I like
I'm
that. That's cool. I like the bird theme.
Condors.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Crit-
our other group is known as the Azure Crows. So condors and crows.
Yeah,
Crimson
we'll put it on the
Cardinals.
table.
Crimson what?
Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Pally,
Small board.
pally, pew, pew.
Pally, pew, pew.
He's not wrong.
Oh, Stevie, you crack me out.
Merc.
Crimson Mercs.
Well, ooh. Crimson Mercs. We could be a mercenary band. That's perfect. I can get out of Boulder's Gate then. Yes. We'll put that one on the list. Put it on the list.
Apparently, that has made it to the list. The Crimson Exile sounded good too.
I like the Crimson Exiles as well. Then we could leave home and it makes sense.
uh,
Not
You have
because
to
we
leave
were
your wife
exiled.
though.
so
Yeah.
in
Yeah, I do try to meet her.
in the background,
just-
you hear Crimson Mercs is taking fools.
I turn around immediately. By who?
The Crimson Mercs, duh.
Yeah. Where are ya? I don't see ya.
I don't know. It's just I've met them before when they came through here, looking for something on some elementals. I don't really know what.
I'm gonna beat their
But,
ass.
All
Well,
right,
Crimson
so
Merc is off the table.
Bastards. We'll take their name in a minute when we
No.
do this thing. We
No.
gotta do this thing first.
all right.
With this
So did you guys
Eagle-
decide on anything? If not, we're gonna move forward anyway, and you can argue about it later.
Yeah, we can just move forward. I think, right?
Okay. At this point, Fallister
Wait.
Fisk, Fallister Fisk, and Rhea are ready to go. And meet with Silvira to figure this stuff out.
Yeah. And as we're walking, I use divine sense.
Oh.
And I make sure that Zorax is within range.
Okay. Doesn't that detect fiends?
Fiends, celestials,
yeah.
and undead.
Fiend Celestials Undead.
You send out this kind of like sonar thing. It beams back from him, as well as a small sort of energy pinging from over by where the ogre's at. You would know it as I honestly, as a DM, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know exactly. Imps are usually fiends, so I think so. We'll go with the fiend. But you sense an imp. You've sensed something similar before when you were in the house, the Van Thamper's estate, coming from over by the ogre that's reading the book.
Do I notice anything?
You notice that there is a ping, but you don't see it. But you know imps can go invisible, so that doesn't really mean shit. You know it's there.
And I'm not getting anything from Zorax.
You would always get something from Zorax. Isn't that a given?
Well, as a celestial,
He's
but
a
is he
celestial.
undead?
No, he's not undead.
Darn it.
Oh yeah,
Stop.
I'm an angel.
I just
Darn it,
I
that's what's
ping.
he said with Sorax, I'm like, yeah, okay. It's gonna. I said it pings off of him and off of the little imp thing.
Darn it, I thought that just blows off my theory.
Oh, you thought maybe he really did die?
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't think about that. That would have been sweet.
That's smart, actually.
All right, so you guys.
He's like, yeah, I know something's pinging off Zorax. What is it?
That's just celestial. Never mind.
So you guys start making your way out. You head towards the main keep, a towering edifice housing hundreds of monks and wizards and thousands of books and scrolls. Easily, this thing is huge. You're not surprised that it's got a massive repository. As you guys are kind of meandering through the keep, you see beautiful scrolls hung up as if they're pieces of artwork. It's almost like they took popular poems and stories of old and copied them onto giant hanging sheets to show off without having to actually open up like the actual pieces. So that's kind of the decor that they decided to go with. So you can see just the entire hallways are just caked in knowledge and lore about all sorts of random stuff.
Hmm.
So, well,
As your, do you guys have any thoughts on any of that stuff? I mean,
it's grand.
yeah, it's pretty fantastic stuff.
It's a little overwhelming for I guess I'm not really a small town guy. It's more of just a dangerous town guy. So I'm not
Right.
used to things that are pretty.
Yeah. Um.
Pretty and peaceful.
Yeah. Emphasis on peaceful.
Yes, there's nobody being mugged down every corner, and it doesn't smell like shit and piss.
Yeah. Do you see me kind of like look around one of the aisles, going like, no, not. And you see me just shake my head like, no, nothing. I don't get it.
Are you okay, Zorax? Are you still drunk?
No, I don't get drunk off one drink. But like, I don't know. It's weird. Usually, I'm used to people beating up each other, or maybe there's a sword in somebody, and I have to check it out. This is kind of
Oh, that's
not
right. You grew
that.
up in Baldur's Gate. My mistake.
Yeah.
And he walks off.
And I'm kind of thinking like an assassin. Where you go? Where? Oh. Okay.
As you're walking by, in your head, Zorax, you hear, I know that guy, real a-hole, like be honest. As you're walking by, there's a specific wall scroll that seems to be talking about Asmodeus.
You said. Excuse me. You said you know that guy?
Ooh, Old Handy says the Crimson Pact. That sounds good. Blood bonds and stuff. Sorry, I didn't mean to get distracted, but that sounded dope.
That does
Um,
sound pretty.
He says,
I do
well,
like that one.
when you've battled as long as I have, you meet some of the most powerful and dangerous of demon kind.
And who are you?
You've trapped me. Because I know what
I'm like,
I know
well,
who he's talking about. I know what
He
he's
goes,
doing.
I was warrior. Fought in the Wood War, in the Nine Hells. You see some scary stuff.
how did you come out of the Nine Hells?
What? I did not come out. You mean where I was
said-
trapped in this shield? That is where was trapped and then passed on for a long time. I just
Is this
wish to be
Alistar?
freed. Yes. He's kind of talking.
Oh, I thought this was a person.
No.
I thought like a person was like tapping me and be like, I remember that guy, and like he pointed to the banner of Asmodeus. Okay, this makes way more sense now.
I was like, you just asked me a question I'm not supposed to answer a certain way, and I'm like, well,
this
damn it.
this makes
We got it.
2,000,000 more %. Okay.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
He says, I don't want to talk about it. It makes me upset. I was tricked by that. I was tricked into this shield. And I wish to be free. You will help me be free, won't you? Give me a wisdom saving throw.
25 total.
Okay.
Man, you're really high on those wisdom saves,
so-
except for that one.
Today.
That's all it. Yeah, right. So as you guys make your way through, you're constantly being addressed. Is there anything I can help you with? Here at Candle Keep, we're happy to direct you to whatever you need. Fist kind of does his grunting and says, "I know where we're going." And unless you guys got questions for any of them,
Nope.
okay. So as he finally leads you into this massive chamber, you've walked down these beautiful marble hallways with these intricate, wall scroll tapestry things. As you enter this room, the doors swing open. The walls of this circular tower chamber are punctuated by arched windows that are currently shuttered. Bookcases filled with eldritch volumes stand between the windows, while tables are crowded with specimen jars, alchemic equipment, and other clutter. Engaged in Engraved into the floor of the chamber is a large nine-pointed star. A middle-aged tiefling dressed in wizardly robes stands by one of the windows, caught
Excellent.
in caught in a tense contemplation. Perched on the corner of the table nearby is a spindly little demon with warty green skin, buggy eyes, thin black horns, and a whip-like tail.
Even
and
bigger
it
expert.
and it says, "I can't tell you how pleased I am to see you," says the tiefling. "What have you brought me today?" And
Quick
she,
question.
yes?
I'm not with them, right?
No, you're all together.
Oh.
Unless you said you weren't.
Well, they walked. Well,
Did I miss
Chiron
something?
walked away from me. So I was kind of by my lonesome, as far as I'm aware.
Okay, well, you're straggling behind then. Why?
Okay. I was just wondering. I was like, am I actually in this conversation or
Yeah,
not?
I would say
That's
you
all.
guys, they waited for you as you guys got in.
Okay.
Da, 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 da. So, so what have you brought me? She inquires.
Um,
Fist says, "These are the guys. These are the guys that rescued me. And I also was able to get what you wanted." And you see him pull out what looks like some sort of puzzle box, and you see her eyes light up, and she dashes over, and she snatches it from him. He says, "Wonderful, wonderful done, Fisk. Your leave is granted. Return to me in 10 day for all your hard work." And she throws him a bag of coins, and he says, "All right, boys, I'm gonna get me some bourbon toe." And he dashes out.
See you later, Fisk.
Says, "And what have you brought me? You have brought me my servant, and I appreciate that more than you will ever know."
we came to seek answers on recent events with El Terrell and Baldur's Gate.
"Ah, well, then you have certainly come to the right mage, haven't you? You know, it is my expertise, the other planes, the outer planes, the ones that most of the arcane schools say are a waste of energy, a waste of focus. I don't think so personally. There's much to be gleaned, especially after what happened with El Terrell. Ha! I got to laugh right in their shiny little grinning faces."
Huh.
Wait.
Budget agents.
You hear a wisecrack come. "Yeah, little bastards, always giving her shit."
What the?
"Jezebel, quiet now. I told how have we not? We've been talking about your language. If you're going to be my familiar, you must be more professional." "What? No,
Familiar?
no. They mistreated you wrong. They all deserve to die. If I was in the Nine Hells, I'd be able to strangle them and twist them and curl." She says, "Calm down, Jezebel." So, anyways, you have arrived. Obviously, you have rescued my servant. So she reaches in and she grabs a large jewel and flicks it towards you guys. No one in particular. Is anybody going to try to catch it?
I
I
try to
will.
get it.
Was that Merle?
Yeah,
Well,
Merle.
Merle and Chiron.
All right.
I guess we all do.
Give me deck saves. See who manages to grab it.
I'm gonna
19.
use
Or it
Chiron's.
wouldn't be. It would be a dexterity check. Sorry, not save.
19.
19.
Darn it, 17.
Ah.
And I'm using I think I'm using Chiron's no, 16. No, sorry. I'm using Chiron's. Zorax's
Math is hard.
yeah. No, wording is hard. I was using Zorax's protection ward, and that still failed.
All right. So as it comes flying through the air, you guys both leap out to try to kind of reactive catch it. And since you both tied at 19, a squirrely little pudgy. Sorry, I think I got a hiccup coming along.
It's gonna make us both not get it.
Yeah, the spindly little demon shoots out, flies around, it snatches it in its tiny little claws, and then flies out the window. And you hear, she cursed. You hear Silvera curse, "That damn familiar! I knew I should have sent it back." She says, "I am so sorry about that. I promise she'll be back shortly, with or without your reward."
It's a coin, right? Was there something
It
was a
particular?
It was a
jewel.
jewel.
Oh, it was a jewel.
It's a
Okay.
gem.
I thought she said coin for some reason. I was like, because I
I'm-
thought it went ting
Yeah.
like that.
No.
That makes more sense.
Anyways, she says, "Hi, I'll get one of my servants to bring your compensation." But my, that is fascinating. And she's eyeballing your shield.
It sure is.
She
And
says,
I look over to the shield and say, Alistar, you may want to introduce yourself.
silence. "I know this shield, this symbol. It's a symbol of good's triumph over evil. Gazing at such beauty, one can easily overlook the terrible force bound within it. If I recall, his name is Gargoeth, was it? I believe. It's hard to recall."
Gargoyle.
Gargath?
You hear a voice in your guys' head, and it says, "Don't listen to her. He is no longer resided. He tricked me. Now I remain inside."
Does Silvera hear that?
No.
Yeah.
I tried to talk to her. Her mind is warded.
It's,
Yeah, about that, milady. This shield is now possessed by a Deva named Alistar, who was tricked by
Ah,
Gargoeth.
simple mercs. You guys are so easily fooled. Clearly, the being trapped in there is a pit fiend sent by Asmodeus to corrupt the mortals on the material plane.
how
And they're,
no?
Oh, that's way worse.
well, of course.
Pit fiend? Oh God! Wait.
Yes. You hear the deep thundering voice. "Don't listen to her. I told you. Gargath no longer in here. I am in here. Elistar. Deva. Albeit foolish Deva who was tricked. And I wish to be freed."
I say in Celestial to Zorax, take that shield off right now.
You rolled really high, I think, so
25. Yeah, it's pretty high.
that's that's entirely up to you.
I remove the shield. I drop it on command. Just
You're gonna give up all that power.
thing is it's binding me, and I don't want to be bound.
So
I want the power unconditionally.
he says, he
That would
begins
be
to
my
thrum
character
through you.
response.
He says, Zorax, you do not want to do this. I need your help. Without you, I cannot be freed."
I know what you are.
And she says, "Ah, he is talking to you?"
Yes. He says
He
that
talks often.
he says that you are protected. That's why
Ah.
he can't speak to you.
Of course,
That's
any
unlikely.
mage will protect their own bodies from outside interference. If you do not build wards, you can easily be struck down by the simplest of magicians.
You learn something new every day.
This is why I'm not a magician.
She looks at it and she says, "Sit it down over there." And you see she's got like an empty pedestal. He says, "This shield." Yes, Gargath. If I recall, she snaps her fingers, and then a few moments later, her little imp comes back carrying a large book, and you see it's kind of floating and it's really heavy, and she holds out her hands and waves it like this, and the thing flips in front of her, and then opens it as it's fluttering in front of her, and she starts turning the pages. She says, "Ah, yes. Gargath became a sort of demigod, if I'm not mistaken. According to these texts, he even had worshippers. used to increase his power exponentially. Oh my! How the mighty have fallen! Now you are just locked inside of a tiny little prison cell. It seems. You guys. She looks at you. What?
Anybody live in space?
Ultimate cosmic power. Itty bitty little space. She says, "Ah, yes, yes. To my understanding, this shield, if this text is correct, and I'm sure it is, uh, it was written by Mordenkainen after all. This shield has the power to corrupt everything around it. The Hound family of Baldur's Gate was last in control of it.
The Who family?
The Hound family. Um, give me a history check if you lived in Baldur's Gate.
Oh wow. 19.
You
21.
you guys actually recall them being some sort of small family of paladins. You don't know much about them, but you recall that they were of note in Baldur's Gate. Um, They would travel regularly between Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter. Yeah.
I think I remember working with them, having a few jobs with them every once in a while.
Ah, yes, they're very devout. Um,
Hmm.
Doubtless they'll want it back, though, but the shield should not be taken to any place where thousands of mortals resides. Where did you find it?
In the lower levels of the Van Themper family,
And
who
Baldur's
apparently is under suspicion of devil worshipping.
Oh my!
Lots of fun
Yeah,
stuff.
Do you know how long it was in there?
Not
we
a clue.
do not. And this guy may
Oh,
not
Probably
tell
too
us.
long.
oh my! If that's the case, I wonder if Baldur's Gate's fall has anything to do with this piece. Oh my, this is magnificent. Now she's starting to get excited. She's like, I must run experiments. I must learn.
Ma'am, time is
Well,
of the essence.
The shield's
Maybe
all hers for all I care. I'm tired of that thing. That thing tried to corrupt me and enslave me, and you know what? I'm tired of it.
there
yeah.
might be other methods for them to do whatever happened to Elturel. We don't know for certain if the shield was the recipient of whatever happened, but
I see.
we if there are other methods that resulted in the disappearance of Elturel, that may happen soon.
I see. All right. Well, first, we have to lock this item away in a transdimensional space, away from corruptible souls such as the mortals. Um,
Such as myself.
jeez. um, Jezebel, would you please go grab one of my bags of holding, please? The blue one with the red ribbon, you know, that one. I think that there's nothing in there that can be damaged by this thing. And you hear kind of sending out a signal. You'll have her lock me away. I just want to be freed. Is this how you treat a deva?
You are not a deva.
I am almost godlike.
I know what you are in there, and you are not a deva. And I know this because I'm closely related to a deva.
You were supposed to help me, you fool!
You tried to corrupt me and use me for your own good.
Your darkness was already there.
It is.
I
But
just
I
pulled
don't
on it a
disobey
little
it.
bit. We could be invincible together.
You're not the thing that I require.
Speaking
That
as a
is
player,
a shield. I would
Speaking-
rather require a weapon. You are
Speaking
not
as-
that.
speaking as a player, I feel like that this is more like a Riku and Ansem moment from Kingdom Hearts.
What's that?
You had all the darkness inside you. All you
Yeah,
had
well-
to do was use it.
I see. So at this point, the guards that were, or not the guards, sorry, had a brain fart there for a second. Rhea jumps in and says, starts asking about what she knows about Thavius Krieg. Do you guys have anything else before I move on? I guess.
Not this time.
Good riddance to my shield.
Yeah. So the little Jezebel demon comes flying in, and she's kind of giggling a little bit. She's all mouthy, talking a lot of shit. She swoops in, floats above the shield, and then opens the bag and just drops it on top of it. Says, "Tie that up and carry it to my loft, would you? It must be stored away. We do not want any foolish mortals getting access to it. Who knows what kind of damage it would cause."
Oh, I'm way well aware of what damage it can cause if you want to know. I could talk all day about it.
Yeah, we were ambushed by a Cambion and two bandits,
Oh,
human,
yeah.
I have no
And-
doubts.
they were after the shield.
Oh, yeah. So you might
Um,
want to keep that thing
Well-
well locked away.
Well, in a transdimensional portal, they're not gonna find it.
I guess that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, but they might figure out its last known location.
I keep saying transdimensional. That's probably different than extra dimensional. Whatever.
I would say pocket dimensional.
Whatever. Anyways, she as Rhea brings up Thavius Krieg, she says, "Well, I have been suspicious of the High Overseer of Elturel for a long time, but no one wanted to hear my concerns, because Thavius Krieg was widely regarded as a hero, who saved his city from an undead scourge,
I stand close to Rhea, making sure that she doesn't do anything rash.
giving rise to a holy nation of Elturgard. I mean, hailed as a savior, Thavius made all citizens of Elturel swear an oath called the Creed of Resolute, which binds them to defend the nation of Elturgard. You know, I met him years ago, and my instincts, they told me he was a charlatan. You can see her kind of her eyes kind of close a little bit and her face kind of scrunch up. Afterward, I grew to suspect that he had cut some sort of deal with one of the more powerful devils, using the Creed Resolute to bind all of Elturel to this dark deal. I wish to prove
That
my
would
theory,
make sense.
and I do believe the evidence that is locked inside this puzzle box may be what I need.
That's what that
Really?
puzzle box is for?
Yes. Why
I thought it
else
was
do
just
you
some
think
random cool item.
Why do you think I would have sent my my most prized servant, my most valuable, my most wonderful, to such a dark position? Because I couldn't be sure that the puzzle box existed.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I'm not super happy with how he had to get it and where he had to store it. She kind of looks at the thing in a little bit of disgust, but you do what you gotta
Well.
do, I suppose.
You can't crack the puzzle, can you?
Could only assume.
Can I crack a puzzle? Ha! I am an expert of magic puzzle boxes, having made and sold a few in my day.
I thought you were an expert in devilry.
Are you saying there can only be an expert in one thing?
No.
Why do you think I choose to visit this place on such a regular? Its vast knowledge, the best become the experts at everything, don't they?
That is
I-
true.
I suppose.
She kind of glances over to Merle and says, "And I've seen what you've dropped off and brought to Candlekeep, and I am most intrigued."
You're welcome.
Yes. I will certainly have to try. Would you mind showing me how it works? Give me a presentation, maybe. I'm very intrigued.
I don't see why not.
I'm waiting for Jezebel to return with some of my tools to address this puzzle box, so I could use a little bit of distraction.
Oh man.
Do you show her? Do you show her?
I show her.
Give me a performance check.
Performance.
Check.
Oh, that's charisma. I don't know how much charisma you got.
Not much.
I didn't think so.
I might have to use one of my talents to make this number not completely.
That's funny.
Brunson burger. That's funny.
Did you roll a 1?
I rolled a total of 5 between the D20 and the D10.
Ooh.
So she says, "Let me see those skills," and she throws up several coins, and you in your little gizmos and your guns try to blast them, and you only get like 1 out of 2, and you start to leave little freeze marks on the ceiling. And she says, "It seems like your tool is just absolutely wonderful. It needs a bit work and can be improved upon a little bit. Not
Of
to
course.
mention the user itself isn't super great, but that can all be replaced and improved upon. I'm very fascinated and cannot wait to give it a shot."
Oh, trust me, milady. I vouch for it, the accuracy of such contraptions. It's just that right now was not a good time for him.
Yes, you never know when you're going to be attacked, and you want to make sure that your accuracy and your skill only works at the right time.
Also, was it performance? Should I roll something besides performance then, or
No, it was just you're putting on a show, right?
okay, okay.
Like a
Demonstration.
yeah. That's why I didn't want you to roll attack rolls. It was just I thought it was because you're just putting on a show. Performance seemed more accurate. Plus, I knew I
Yeah.
could have a little bit of fun with it. At this point, she had asked Jezebel to fetch her a flask of dark liquid and pours a small amount onto the maze-like troughs carved into the box's surface. You then see her, she kind of tips the box so the liquid starts to flow certain directions through the maze-like patterns until the box's horn inlays pop loose and it breaks apart. Um, and inside the box, you see 9 chain link plates. Each is about 3 inches on a side. Um, uh, Cast with like some sort of dark iron and appears to be stamped with infernal runes. Anyone who understands infernal runes?
Bing!
Okay, so you can tell, and and
I know it too.
you can tell that it says, "Oh shit, hang on." Be it known to all that I, Thavius Krieg, High Overseer of Elturel, have sworn to my master Zariel, Lord of Avernus, to keep the agreements contained in this oath. I hereby submit to Zariel in all matters and for all time. I will place her above all creatures, living and dead. I will obey her all my days and beyond with fear and servility. Did I say that
I
right?
read that aloud.
I'm not done. There's more. There's 9 tablets. I recognize the uh, dins- dispensation of the device called the Solar Insidator. Insid. Use normal words that stupid people like me can pronounce. The Solar Insidiator, uh, hereafter called the Companion. In my capacity as High Overseer of Elturel and its vassal territories, I acknowledge that all lands falling under the light of the Companion are forfeit to Zariel. Shit. All persons bound by oath to defend Elturel are also considered forfeit. I further recognize that this dispensation will last 50 years, after which the Companion will return whence it came, taking
Hmm.
Elturel and its oath-bound defenders with it, if that is Zariel's wish. All this is my everlasting pledge.
Hmm.
Sounds not good.
Makes
Clearly.
sense
By
why
the
Elturel's gone, I guess. She
by
literally
Bahamut.
took the damn thing.
So as you look over, you see Rhea Mantlemorn. She is so stung by this revelation that she pretty much just collapses onto the floor and weeps for the city of Elturel and its people. And she goes, if we're bound to the city by our creed, it's I feel it's imperative to return to it. If Zariel wants my soul, she's welcome to try and take it.
Can I do a religion check on Zariel?
Sure.
Religion. Ah, there it is. 11.
Um, she's Lord of Avernus. Ooh, my wifey brought me desserts. Thank you.
I
Is it not
feel
good?
like, you know,
You could have put it in the fridge. It's all
wow.
soft and gooey.
What is it?
It's a lemon thing I made.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
good. It's a lemon bar that's not quite a bar because it's so soft and gooey, but it's delicious. It's
That's kinda cool.
delicious. You'll never know that I only had 2 eggs instead of 3 because I didn't have another one. Unfortunately, you didn't study enough up on this sort of stuff to recall more than she is a Lord of Avernus.
Hmm.
Well,
Should have gave me a fork. Why did you put mine? Okay, so she brings. She's like, this is what mine looks like. Look, it's on a plate and a fork. Look what she brought me as I'm sitting at my desk. I don't get a plate or a fork.
Ah, man.
First world problems.
Yeah,
Yep.
could I get a plate and a fork, please, sweetheart? Huh? No, I took a bite. It's all soggy because it's not hard. Don't you hate it when it's not hard? It's just hard to get any work done with it. I mean, eat it because you can't pick it up. You know what I mean? Anyways, performance anxiety. Anyways. Anyways, so unfortunately, you did not. You weren't able to recover any more information than that.
other than
You know, she's
where
the
she's
Lord of
at.
Avernus.
You know, she's a Lord of Avernus.
Karen says aloud, "That's not good."
Well, yeah, it's not good. We just figured out that the guy who pretty much ruled over Elturel was like, bye bye, Elturel.
Yeah. She,
Well,
let me.
hmm.
I'm looking for something here. Um. So she says, "Well, I am not surprised by this at all. It's far worse than I feared, though."
That also means that Baldur's Gate, we're probably gonna have to subdue Miss Vanthamper. We're probably gonna have to do something about it.
That and we have that
We
and
have
the Grand Duke.
confirmation that, you know, did, one, she is quite literally conspiring with devilry. And two, has the High Overseer who has condemned everyone to
Had
Zario.
we turned him over to
Oh
your
yeah.
commander, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
We
yeah, we
don't
did.
have
Do it.
him no more. You turned him over.
So yeah, we're good.
Well, you were
Well,
supposed to
on
gain
that.
more information that you could.
Yeah. Which now we have.
Uh,
Yeah.
thank you, sweetheart. She's like, hang on a second, fellas. And all those watching, uno momento, por favor. That's so much easier, and my hands aren't gonna get all sticky. I was complaining that it's not hard, and now my stuff's sticky.
Steve says, "Made do without an egg. Suck it up on the fork."
Turned out good though. It's delicious. I wasn't sure how it would turn out. I've been doing a lot of baking and stuff since I've been on quarantine.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Made my own homemade bread a couple times. Good shit. Good. All right. So Rhea looks up and says, "Is there any is there any way to sorry, got food in my mouth still."
Take your time, TM.
She kind of looks around to you guys and to um shit, what's her
Sil-
name? Silvera.
Silvera,
Silvera.
Yeah.
Is there any way to damn it?
take it slow,
Choking
dude.
on my shit. I try, but I can't control myself.
I'm gonna not have a DM by the end of the session.
Gonna choke
Show's
on
gonna
my
be
own
over.
sticks that aren't sticks. Um, and through deep tears, Rhea looks up and says, "Is there anything we can do to free Elturel and its people? Anything at all? this is all Thavius is doing. Our people shouldn't suffer because of a deal he made. Surely there's got to be something we can do. She kind of looks to you guys for guidance. Do you guys have any?
We could.
I don't know a thing about contracts. Would I know anything about contracts by devilry?
Well, Silvera looks around. She says, "Well, this is certainly a complicated one." As she's looking through the
I feel like
The
if the
contract.
contract is made to Zario, we'd have to literally speak to Zario and somehow
Yeah.
redo the contract with a different deal.
That is
And
certainly an idea. Well thought out there,
I
Master
You
Man.
want you want a Lord of Avernus to undeal a contract that was made by someone else.
For a whole city.
so okay, hear me out. We just have to offer up something else.
Now, what could we possibly offer to a high demon lord
No,
Avernus?
no, you're
That's what I
not
don't know. What do you mean no? I don't even know what I'm trying to think of, so you thought of it first. Bastard.
I assumed that you were thinking something that I believe is completely ridiculous.
Just offer up the shield. Maybe she'd like another
He
demon to
said
be
it.
like,
He
hey,
said it. He said it. He said it.
all I'm
Now,
saying
there's an
is that
intriguing idea.
we can just give her the shield and she'll look at the shield like, haha, what an idiot. I can't believe you really tried to take some stuff that wasn't yours. And maybe it'll work out. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, Zariel was an angel at one point, right? Would I know that? Is that even common knowledge? I guess I
That
can roll
was
for
some of the information I was going to give him, but he rolled really shitty. So
Oh,
I would say that's not
Although-
common knowledge.
Well,
Although
wait.
Ray had told,
I'll
Ray had
roll
told the
for it.
story during our
What kind of check
journey.
is it? History?
Religion.
religion. I'll roll for it.
I'll roll for it too.
Yeah. I got a fucking 9.
I got 22.
That works.
22.
Merle knows. Merle, you had once read some really strange stuff during your tenure at what's a big city you visited for a while in your travels?
Baldur's Gate.
That's it.
Yeah.
You picked the one city that probably doesn't have a book anywhere.
Hey, there's travelers. Maybe
so,
maybe
you
one
met.
fell off the
So,
cart.
I slept in the workshop in there. What do you want?
so in your treks through Baldur's Gate, meeting with merchants to come up with and all the equipment you needed for your designs and contraptions, you did
Everything's
meet
cheap
with, huh?
Everything's cheap in Baldur's Gate.
The real reason it all comes out. Basically, Baldur's Gate is like the other country, like China or something. He left Neverwinter to go
probably.
to Baldur's Gate for cheaper prices.
I've never even been to Neverwinter.
Anyways, you met with a very devout sage who actually mentioned that he was studying up on ancestral lore or celestial lore, and you recall that she was an angel. Actually, just because you're half angel doesn't mean you would know.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that wouldn't give me
so
anything.
you do recall that she once was an angel, and some say she's a fallen angel.
Actually,
but you don't know the details of her falling.
I could probably gather that the name sounds celestial. That'd be the best I got, because typically Azamars have some celestial-based names, but
Well, there you go.
sometimes they don't.
But we don't.
But that'd be the
do
only
we know
thing.
she changed it or not? I mean, I don't really know. As DM,
No.
as DM, I have no idea.
Right.
But anyway, so yes, you know she was once an angel that had fallen.
Okay.
So you think you guys could leverage that? Maybe there's something to be gained. There's a deal. There could be a deal to be made. So Silveris looks up. She says, "Well, if you don't know, devils are all. I keep saying demons. Devils are all about making deals and barters. They trade. They trade in power. If you can
So
find."
let's make a better deal.
How?
I don't know.
How does the soul of a demigods such as Gargoeth compare to the lives of mortals of a city?
Well, that's the thing, right? If Gargoeth is a demigod, that's a pretty big deal. Especially in Outer Planes when you can freely traverse, probably. And he's stuck inside a shield. He's a bartering chip just waiting. He can't do anything. So as long as we just have him, which I'm not saying we should probably keep him in something where he can't be grabbed easily, such as the demi-plane that our friend here is putting him in.
Or we could just kill Zariel. Just saying.
Now, see, that's an idea I like. Now, I don't know how we're going to confirm and do it, but it's an idea.
Silvera just starts busting out laughing. She is just laughing her head off.
And yes,
Chiron joins.
that
Chiron
video.
is ridiculously joining Silvera as well.
Now, obviously, it has to be in satire, right? Because we're a bunch of mortals thinking like, oh yeah, let's just kill the Lord of Avernus. Ha! Yeah.
And yes, I realized how absurd that was. It's like,
That's the idea. That's probably the joke, I assume, right? Assuming it was meant to be like that, we could just kill her. And it's like, ha! I suppose we could. Technically not off the table, but it's certainly not on the table in the middle.
Well, let's take a moment. If the enemy or if the demon is Garwath or whatever his name is, I forgot already, is the one that is in fact trapped in there, he is very high on the the infernal hierarchy. That could bring you quite a bit of leverage, because if you think the only thing just below the Archduchess and the Duchess is the Pit Fiend, and that may be leverage if he is in fact in there and is not the Deva you claim it is.
I have another thing we could probably add onto that table. It's a real weird one, so hear me out. What if a different archdevil kind of comes in and they want to fight for maybe another level of hell or something? Maybe something. What if they were like, ooh, what if I want to become the lord of the first layer of hell? So we try and just get something to kind of happen where those set of events can happen. Like, I don't know, what if
You want to start a civil war between the layers of the 9 hells?
Give me, if you're trained in religion, give me a religion check.
I am definitely not trained in religion.
I am.
I wish you luck.
14, but I'm going to use my inspiration to... No, that's
Get
17.
advantage.
To give me advantage. See what happens. 17.
You realize this train of thought isn't that far-fetched. You know that in Avernus, Zariel is actually supplementing a lot of her power with her rival Belt, who had fallen out of favor with Asmodeus, and now serves as Zariel's advisor. So other powerful dukes and duchesses and pit fiends do make powerful allies and do reach to scroll to the top. I mean, that is part of the hierarchy.
I mean, it's an idea.
She says, well, I'll tell you
I
what.
feel more...
You guys figure out what it is you want. I have much work to do. Return to me when you have a plan, and I will assist you in any way that I can. Take your time.
Very well.
Figure it out. Avernus wasn't built in a day. Do you have any questions before we depart? I have much more work to do.
I'm just trying to figure out where in the world could Grand Duke Ravengard could be. Could he be in Elturel in Avernus?
Well, where was he when Elturel was forced into Avernus? Was he in Elturel?
Rumors say that he was summoned by Krieg to Elturel, and then the disappearance happened.
Then
Rhea looks at you and she says, "Yes, that was the whole thing. Is I couldn't. The Thavius wasn't at the meeting, so it's very likely that the Archduke was in fact in Elturel and now is stuck in Avernus."
Yeah.
that's rough.
Hmm.
You know what's also going to be rough, guys? If we want to meet Zariel and actually try and do this stuff, we're probably going to have to go into Avernus. I
You
don't
don't
think us
say.
trying to talk to her is going to be like a phone call. Well, phones don't exist here. A scrying orb. That's like great.
Scrying spell would be more efficient.
Well,
Could we scrying spell? Sorry.
what I
She
can
would
tell you is, first of all, any magician worth their salt has wards against that stuff. And she pulls down her shirt. Just above her left breast is an insignia that's surrounded by all kinds of different glyphs. You ensure that this doesn't happen, and you cannot be scried, you cannot be spied upon, for we are well aware of the capabilities of magic. So I would imagine that the Archduchess of Avernus would be well aware to this. I can also tell you, you are not the only adventurers to descend into Avernus. To my understanding, just recently, a group passed through and met with my close personal friend, Traxagor, to use his plane shift ability to send them into Avernus. I believe they go by the Azure Crows.
Oh. Huh.
Oh, those nut jobs.
I've heard strange things about them.
It appears that Force, and I also think I heard Force Grey as well. But it's hard to keep up on those. There's so many adventuring groups.
Who's Force Great?
You don't remember? They're one of like the biggest ones. One of the members joined up with you in as a player joined up with you in
Storm King's Thunder.
Storm King's Thunder. Big giant
Yep.
was kicking ass.
Harshnag.
Very
He's part
powerful.
of Force Great? I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
He was
I
very
wasn't there for that, I'm
powerful.
pretty sure.
Very powerful. I think I only mentioned it once or twice when they first joined up.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But yes, very powerful adventuring group. So you're not the only ones descending in to save
Elturel.
Elturel.
Hmm.
So
No.
cheers. Go ahead.
I think that was to you, Ian. Or
I
Matt.
wasn't saying anything particular.
Anyways, so do you guys want to have your character spend a few days and figure out what you want to do? Maybe see if you can learn any information, or do you want to just try to get to Avernus?
Let's try to gain information more about Avernus and go over some better options than what we just discussed.
Time to hit the books. Good thing we got a sage with us because he can read books 20 billion times more efficiently than us.
I know which books to read.
I look at a book, I'm like, demon. Oh god. It's not gonna eat me, is it?
So you guys kind of break apart for a little bit. You get some refreshments. You take care of yourselves. I'm gonna ask you right now. We can do this two ways. We can spend some time and maybe a whole nother session going through this, or we can do a skill challenge and I can feed you information based on the results, and we'll be able to move forward to Avernus in the next session.
Skill challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm done with the skill challenge. I don't know about Ian.
Well, it doesn't matter what Ian wants because 2 against 1. So
I'm cool with
sorry.
it.
This is a democracy. Actually, it's the United States of Justin Hanlon right now. All right. So what we're gonna do is I need you each to give me.
I thought this was a constitutional republic.
I'm going to ask each of you individually what you are going to try to research and then we will go from there. So starting with, so those of you that don't know, I love skill challenges. I don't always tell my players I'm doing them. Sometimes I just make them do checks and then they suffer the results or the blessings of them. But in order to speed up the game from a more narrative perspective, we roll a certain number of checks and they have to score so many successes before so many failures. Regardless, the story still moves forward, but if they may gain more information from succeeding than they would if they fail, or some sort of other detrimental effect may affect them. All that stuff may be obvious right away, and sometimes it's not. So I keep track of that on my end, and I wait to when to spring it on them. So, Chiron, what are you going to be focusing on for the next couple days in your research?
Probably about the hierarchy in Avernus.
Okay.
And then have a little bit of that, and then focus with Zariel.
Okay. So you want Zariel and the hierarchy, right?
Yep.
All right. What is Merle going to be focusing on?
First, what's Austin going to be focusing on?
Okay.
What am
What
I
is,
gonna
what
be
is
focusing-
Zorax going to be? What are you going to be
Oh.
researching? You
The
guys
most
are about to
beautiful
go to
thing about it,
Avernus.
devil weaponry. I gotta know
Weapons,
what's in
devils,
there.
and weapons. All right.
I gotta know what I can use down there while I'm down there.
Okay. And then what is Merle going to be searching up?
And
I'm going to start off with like types of demons.
demons. Ooh.
Demons and devils.
Not devils.
Well,
Probably makes sense. We're probably gonna run into them.
Devils is probably where you're gonna be more focused on.
Well,
yeah, but we might run into both, so...
yeah, I was gonna say it's
Fair enough.
if you're descending into the plains of hell, you're probably gonna find both.
Okay. So, Chiron, what sort of approach do you want to take to your investigation? Do you want to ask for help? Do you just want to start in a random spot? How do you want to do this?
I ask the local experts' help on the matter. I ask for Silvira's guidance and assistance in figuring out the information that I seek.
Okay, give me an investigation check, please.
Okay.
What I'll do is well, actually.
Of all the roles that I could mess up over,
What do you got?
a 4.
Oh, that's not gonna do it. So, you find a lovely bulbous man. He's got like a bowl cut, but it's bald like a friar tuck kind of look. And he guides you over to the books on Zariel, and you do learn that Zariel was once a mighty angel charged with watching the tides of the Broad War. Zariel had succumbed to the corrupting influences of the Nine Hells, and she fell from grace. All right, Merle, what approach are you taking?
First off, I'm going to ask for a librarian where she start in the catalog and go from there.
Okay.
DM,
Yes.
I actually attempted to use my plot point for automatic success.
Oh,
the-
you.
I'm tempted.
Are you going to use it?
Don't do it.
Huh?
I don't know, man. This might not be worth it.
If you guys don't know, I've allowed each one of my players one plot point for the campaign where they can make anything true. They
I
can
just wanna-
shift the story in their favor. Make a door appear that wasn't there. Make a something available that just wasn't available to them, or totally change something about the game, like in the Matrix.
I'm just saying, this campaign does go to level 15. We're level 6, man. There's a long way to go yet.
I mean, spend your plot point now to get the information you need. Spend the plot point later to get your own mech suit. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
but I only get one. I only
Get your
get one.
mech suit. See, this guy gets it.
I only get one. Oh gosh,
If you're not gonna use it, we need to move forward.
Yeah,
It's a big decision.
it is a big decision.
You know
Now,
what?
are
You
you
know what, this is-
influenced by just the in the moment? Because let's be honest,
I'm
you
gonna be
still
hon-
got information.
I was gonna say if you know what, I'm not gonna say.
That's fair. You are the DM.
I was gonna give you
Ah.
more information about what you could do, but I am totally just letting you ride it. And
I feel
Steve
like you
says,
did
take
your
your
part."
time and decide. No.
Not helping, Steve.
I love
Not
it.
helping.
That's exactly what the plot points are. Just take your time and decide this moment.
This is. I only get one of these.
Yeah,
God.
and you're never gonna get another.
Ah.
Think about it this way: you're in an RPG. Would you rather use your max out everything potion and give you a temporary bonus to all 5 of your stats right now while you're reading a book, or would you rather do that later when you're gonna die? Just saying.
Did you just try to create plot armor?
Essentially. Essentially, like, God. Plus 5 to all your
We'll make
stats.
it. We'll give it the effects of the heroism potion. You're invulnerable for a little while.
Yeah, you're invulnerable for like 10 rounds. Who cares? It's so stupid. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna use it.
All
Okay.
right, Merle, you ask a librarian. Because of your extensive knowledge and your sage background specifically, I am going to grant you advantage on this check.
Woo!
You went out and searched out a person of note, and they shared the locations of exactly what it is you wanted on devils and demons. So go ahead and give me a check.
I should have used.
Check.
Uh, that would be some sort of knowledge check. I would probably investigation would probably still work here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Should
they
have
will.
used.
And I will be burning by my academic points.
As
Okay.
I say, I have my shrewd
He's
investigator.
like, I want to make sure I learn this shit.
Pretty
Alright,
much.
And that will
Same,
be a
dude.
total of 19.
There you go.
Several crap.
You rolled
Yeah,
crap.
yeah,
I got a 19. You were asking about the
Devils and demons.
devils and demons.
Yep.
So you know that devils personify tyranny with a very much totalitarian.
Totalitarian.
Yes, that one. Thank you. Totalitarian.
That word.
Uh,
All I gotta say, that word.
totalitarian. There it is. Society dedicated to the domination of all mortal life. You know that you're reading through and you see him touch on, the shadow of the nine hells of Bader extends far across the multiverse, and Asmodeus, the dark lord of the Nessus, strives to subjugate the cosmos to satisfy his thirst for power. The more you get into that, you learn that you find this other book called The Lords of Tyranny that talks about devils living to conquer and enslave and oppress. They take perverse delight in exercising authority over the weak, and any creature that defies the authority of a devil faces swift and cruel punishment. You continue to make your way through the collections and collections of scrolls. You know that devils often understand the failings that plague intelligent mortals, and they use that knowledge to lead mortals into temptation and darkness, turning creatures into slaves to their own corruption. You also end up picking up another book called Devils and Obedience. And in accordance with their lawful alignment, you know that they obey when they are devils obey even when they envy or dislike their superiors, knowing that their obedience will eventually be rewarded based on the hierarchy of the nine hells. And because of that, it leads to this very unwavering loyalty, even if they hate each other, which is something that really is
Interesting.
without it, which that that fiendish plane would become more of an anarchic, become as anarchic as like the abyss. So that is kind of very necessary, and because of that, the reward for being loyal is paid even when they have a severe issue with whoever's leading it. Um, quickly talk. You asked about devils and demons. I'll give you really light on the infernal hierarchy, because somebody else asked about covering it. But they do follow a rigid hierarchy that defines every aspect of the society. Asmodeus is the supreme ruler of all devils and the only creature in the nine hells with the powers of a lesser god, basically. And he's worshipped by many on the material plane. He also inspires the evil humanoid cultists in his own name, which is pretty common. In that hierarchy, the lowest is the lemur, followed by like the lesser devils like imps and bone devils, chain devils. Greater devils such as pit fiends are really at the top echelon. And then the very top are the dukes and duchesses and archduke and archduchesses. Um, and I think that's all I'll give you for that role.
Okay.
That was a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of
That's all.
information.
And I'm
That's all.
and I'm also guessing I also gonna make their resistances, weaknesses, immunities, all
Yes,
that jazz.
we're gonna. That's actually one of the things I was gonna cover in your next thing. So,
Okay.
all right. Zorax? You were looking for types of
Weaponry.
weapons,
I need
right?
to know what to grab and kill with while I'm down there.
Fine.
I'm gonna use two things. I'm assuming that this is gonna be an investigation check, much like everything else. Like I'm gonna
Yep.
find a person.
Because you're poking around, right?
Right. Two things. One, I'm gonna use Shrewd Investigator, so it'll add a little bonus to my roll, the
Okay.
D10. And then second is I want to use Comprehend Languages so I can actually read Infernal
Ooh, fancy.
because I can't, so I need
like
to.
that. Yeah, because you can't read it, so you want to be able to read them as written. I like that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and
Uh,
give me your investigation check.
Okay. That's still a flat 0. Here we go. Wow, 24, not 20. Woo!
Woo!
24.
That's
Let's
how
do
we
it.
roll.
The guy who can't read, but now he can.
All right.
That's
So
a
we're gonna give
first
you
so
some.
far.
We're gonna give you some good. We're gonna try to give you some good stuff here. Just give me 1 second.
Tell me about all the cool swords down there. Why not? I used one.
All right. So as you run off and you find a lovely little dwarf woman with a big beard, all twisted and tied in knots with jewels in it that appear to be thrumming with some sort of power. And she says,
That's cool.
"Oh yes, right this way. We've got an excellent section. Unfortunately for you, it is in. Was it Abyssal you were looking at?
I can read all written languages.
Okay.
As long as I'm holding the book physically, I can read it.
Right. Infernal. Sorry. She says, unfortunately, many of them are infernal, but this is the section you'll want. So as you're looking through these, you start to see some crazy sorts of designs. One that catches it pretty interesting is one you've spotted, the weapon of the bearded devil, the glaive, is something that's very common among low to mid level wielders. They do find that many of them end up being silvered, because devils themselves know that the weapons themselves that are silvered are effective against demons and other devils. So while their weapons may be a little more mundane sometimes, they are often coated in some sort of silver, since magical weapons a little more difficult to get a hold of. You also learn that many of the barbed devils, barbs are often turned into daggers or darts, weapons that can be thrown. And they sometimes say that they might even be able to use to penetrate magical defenses. So those become pretty potent weapons. The one thing that really catch you is the bone devil. Some of the bone devils carry heavy polearms that make them very, very dangerous because they come with a hook on them that makes for additional grappling when they make an attack. Um, So that gives them quite the advantage, the edge in combat, you could say. Um, Oftentimes, the Bone Devil even carries poisoned weapons as well. So, in your readings, you're going to want to keep an eye out for those. Something you haven't seen before is weapons use living chains that are used by chain devils. They animate on their own in dances if and attack their enemies of their own volition. Something that could become very, very convenient in a battle against your foes. And then, of course, you hear all about the whips that the Baylors and the Ironesses use. Very hellish weapons that, if you could get your hands on them, could act quite would be super effective against demons and devils themselves, and pretty much anybody that would be have resistances to other magical items.
Okay. It's quite a bit.
Yep. Make note of that because I'm not going to remember that because I just went through and read a bunch of stuff that was on the monster manual. So go back and snip this part out and record it later or edit it later or transcribe it.
Okay.
All right, and I think we'll go back to Chiron now. Your search to Zariel didn't turn up as much as you would want. The monks did say there's probably some more stuff, but they would have to go and collect it for you, and it can take a little bit of time. Is there something else that you wanted to search and look around?
Um, how about
Because you have Zariel and the hierarchy on here. Do you want me to go more into the hierarchy, or do you want to look into something else?
um, let's look at her inner circle.
Okay.
So
Go
this would
ahead
be
and
an
give me an investigation check, please.
Okay. I got nothing. No bonuses for investigation. He's
I
gonna
feel
go.
you.
2. So uh the only
Oof.
piece of information you're really gonna be able to um find as far as the type of people creatures that Zariel makes her group with is that Zariel surrounds herself mostly with uh, spine devils, Einrins, and imps, and occasionally speaks and has a interesting relationship with Belial and Ferna. It's not really a positive one, but it's somewhere as a love-hate relationship. And of course, she has a uh, agreement of sorts with Tiamat.
What was the
Tiamat.
love hate relationship you were mentioning?
Belial and Ferna. As you're reading through it, they are from the fourth layer of Phlegethos. Phlegethos.
Belial and I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Ferna. Fierna.
Fairna.
And then Chiron. Or not Chiron, sorry. Merle.
Yo,
You're going to make or break this one, buddy.
I'm gonna
You,
try.
you want to look for information on devils or demons?
Yep. All right, and there'll be an 18.
1 second here.
18.
18. 1 8.
1-8. I like skill challenges. Kind of streamlines a lot.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of why I like it because there's a benefit and a advantage and disadvantage. Like if you do poorly, I like to give you accurate information, which is fun.
Mm-hmm.
When you do really good, I give you more information, which is kind of the way it works. You said you got an 18.
Yep.
So you pick up a book called The Spawn of Chaos. and spawned in the infinite layers of the abyss was where the demons kind of arise. They are the embodiment of chaos and evil, engines of destruction barely contained in monstrous form. Possessing no compassion, empathy, or mercy, they exist only to destroy. The abyss creates demons as an extension of itself, spontaneously forming fiends out of filth and carnage. Some are unique monstrosities, while others represent uniform strains virtually identical to each other. Other demons, such as manes, are created from mortal souls, shunned or cursed by the gods, or which are otherwise trapped in the abyss. I already mentioned some of the resistances as far as um, devils to Zorax from his Nat 20. So we will go ahead and talk a little bit about different types of demons. Um, Demons are mostly found in Abyss. Doesn't mean you won't find them throughout your journeys in this in Avernus. Uh, as you're picking through some of this information, the Baylor comes up quite a bit as this sort of powerful, one of the top echelon of demons. They're very powerful and dangerous, and really end up uh, forming entire armies and militia. You read a little bit about the Yokelocks, which are the handmaidens of Lolth, an extension of the Spider Queen's will, dedicated to acting as her spies, taskmasters, and agents of villainy. Um,
Hmm.
in your readings, you learn very quickly that most demons are immune to fires and poisons, and are difficult to damage with the exception of magic and magical weapons. And the most terrifying thing that you find about demons is they are absolutely out of control most of the time. Very few have any sort of rash thought behind and motives behind their ideas. At least
Hmm.
the lower level ones. So, all right, I think we'll do it for that information. You guys spend a couple days gathering all this information. You've got a wealth of knowledge. Um, let me go back to. Da-da-da. Yep. All right, so back to my book and stuff here. So you guys are able to spend the next couple days, digging up all this information and getting really good stuff. Another thing, because you did this, that will benefit you when we get to certain fights and stuff like that. I'll make sure to bring that information forward to you guys. Oh, hey, you recalled reading about this, mostly because I don't want to get
Mhm.
into all that right now.
Sure.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
unnecessary if it's not relevant. But I thought that
I
that was
agree.
an interesting piece of story for all the viewers. Um,
It's kind of fun. I like
so after wandering around and you finally get back to Silvera, she does mention that. Well, actually, well, welcome back. Did you enjoy your experience here at Candle Keep, and did you find what you were looking for?
Chiron looks disgruntled.
I believe I did. It's there is a lot here, and I'm very happy about it.
Speak for yourself. I was hardly able to get anything useful.
You're the one who can read Infernal. How is that true?
Let's just say that my search went poorly.
Eh, that happens.
Well, I was able to gather a bit of information. I have bound this bag of holding in a sealing spell. Is your intent still to make a deal with Zariel with the shield that contains Gareth?
I feel like that's our best shot right now. I don't feel like we have much else to offer. I mean, if I offer ourselves, then what's the point? I mean,
I mean, we could do some additional research on deals with devils.
That is certainly true.
why didn't we do that? I was too focused on weapons and murder. No.
I was researching what we might deal with once we get down there to Avernus.
Still a good idea.
She says, "Well, I am an expert on the outer planes.
Do you know anything about contracts with devils?
Yes, do not make them.
Do not make them.
And
Well,
yet this trade of the shield for Elturel may be our only option.
as it stands,
And honestly, you don't even know if she'll agree to it.
that's the worst part. But someone's got to do it, right?
Hmm.
That's what we're here for.
One piece of advice I can give you is when it comes to contracts, no contract is written perfectly.
Hmm.
Even by those of devils?
Of
Well,
course.
I'm assuming they're always trying to jip you in some way.
Of course they are. They always get the better deal. Think about it for a moment. This deal to protect El Terrell for 50 years. How long do you think she'll have those souls?
Way longer than
Constantine.
50 years.
Mm-hmm.
I rest my
Yeah.
case. 50 years to a mortal seems like a lot. But when you don't age and you live forever and you're ancient, you barely bat an eye. Who really got the better deal?
Sorry,
Sure,
Al.
Devil could do a lot in 50 years. And I'm sure they could do a lot more in 500 years.
Yes. So, that being said, unfortunately, due to the glyphs. Oh, anyways, I almost skipped it. So I've placed glyphs upon this satchel here, this bag of holding. If you don't know, it creates an extra dimensional space for storage. I have sealed it, and as long as it remains intact, it will not be able to be opened except without a command word. All
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
That's useful.
That is very useful.
Now, I will give you the command word, but you have to know that if the bag is damaged, it will break the seal. All right? And the one thing you don't want to do is remove the shield from the bag, because as soon as you do, the aura that emanates from it will draw attention. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In
That could be useful, though.
It is useful.
as long as you know, okay?
So who's gonna hold it? We kind of have to decide that. I vote the guy who can fly. I think that's our best shot.
Seems
he-
logical.
let me give you the command word. Rubber baby
Yeah.
buggy bumper.
Rubber baby buggy bumper.
I dare a devil to try and say that. It won't work. They're gonna be like rubber, babe.
You have to say it 3 times fast.
Rubber baby
Alright.
buggy bumper.
Oh, that didn't go very well. Anyways, so she gives you the command word. She says, now, I don't know if you've noticed that everyone that arrives here at Candlekeep does mostly by direct flight or by foot. Magic transportation is not allowed in the keep for the protection of the devices, or the protection of the collection, as you can imagine. So,
Makes sense.
what I recommend is I mentioned earlier my friend Traxelgor. He lives in a tower 20 miles from here. I've loaned him a spell book or two, so he kind of owes me a favor. I can have you delivered safely to his tower, and he can use his plane shift spell to take you straight to Elturel. Even more importantly, Traxagor is looking for an old friend of mine, someone with a history of battling devils. Sorry. Traxagor is looking after an old friend of mine, someone with history in battling devils in the Nine Hells. I think you'll enjoy her company very much. Her name is Lulu.
Okay.
So, if
Helpful.
there's nothing else, do you have any requests? Any boons that I can grant you?
Uh,
What kind of boons?
I guess.
The
Can I ask
magical
you?
kind.
Can I ask you a real quick question?
You
This
just
sword
did.
is. Thanks. This sword right here, this long sword, supposedly it shines light when heroes touch this thing. When I touch it and I pull it out and you see this emanating darkness, this is a bit different than light, I suppose.
Is darkness
Gandhi?
not considered light?
No, that's why it's considered
Darkness is the absence of light.
That seems very disturbing. You should probably have somebody look at that. Would you like to leave that here with me?
Well, I kind of want to on my adventure to Avernus.
Well, what is it you seek of me?
Well,
That
I was just
clearly
seeing
is
if
not
maybe you.
normal.
Well, I thought maybe you knew something, maybe. And I sheath it, and I'm just like, well, maybe someone else.
I may have
She says,
a.
without doing any experiments, I cannot tell right off the bat.
Well, I guess that's fair. Maybe I should have
It's
just given it to you while we were here.
out of game. What are you specifically looking for?
I don't know. See if you just came up with any bullshit about it.
It's such a dick.
I'm not looking for anything. I'm just seeing if
Um,
you're gonna do something.
Well,
It just has a cool background.
She rolled really low, so she doesn't know anything about it.
Okay.
Um,
As if I
Kyra-
have a plan. I'm a player, dude. Come on.
As if I have a plan. That's funny.
I drop down, grapple slam demons. Devils.
Done it all.
Haven't done enough yet. I'm not dead.
Chiron has a question. Are there any? I've heard stories of bladed swords that can deal magical radiant damage to fiends and undead. Do you have any available here that we could borrow for our journey?
You realize that this is a collection, much like a museum, not a trading post, correct?
Yes. But you know the severity of our situation.
There's always a severity of a situation. And plus, I do not have the authority to grant you that even if I wanted to. But what I could do is
Silver
conjure
hour
up you.
weapons.
That is definitely within my power.
Because
Um,
silvered weapons, if I just remembered reading up, hurt demons and devils.
That's very
We could
much
use
true.
those.
One of
You
those.
could.
Because one of us was successful in our reading today.
That's savage.
Wow!
You mean two?
Both of you are successful.
Some is more than others.
So she says, absolutely, I
Wow,
can do
Ian.
that. She says, come with me and hold out your weapons. And she comes over to this giant, like, center. I don't want to. It's like a fire pit kind of, but the fire that's coming from it is multiple colors. She says, hold your
Pretty.
blades into the flame.
Chiron holds out his short sword, long sword, and then puts a dagger on the floor.
just your weapons.
She holds out her hand, and you see that her little demon Jezebels float by, and she brings this little tiny, like maybe quarter-sized, pure silver piece. She holds it out in her hand face up, and she squeezes it, and it bursts, and it starts flailing around like a living liquid as it reaches out to your guys' weapons and crawls slowly along it, much like the symbiote in Spider-Man, right? It climbs
Ooh.
around it and coats your weapons.
Well,
She's-
I now have a silver dagger.
She now she says, "Is there any other boon that I can grant upon you? For the challenge that awaits you is great."
No, this could actually help us.
Well,
Although I do wonder of something that you might help me out. I know of a spell that could turn a regular weapon into having the magical essence.
You know the magic weapon spell.
Yes.
Yes,
But
yes, I do.
unfortunately, that's a temporary spell. But what I can
I'm a-
do is I can issue you a charm and use it when you need it.
I think I'm fine, but my question is, does this apply to silver weapons as well?
I don't see why not. I guess it's a good point.
I'm sorry. I guess I don't understand what you're asking.
I guess I'm asking of an effect stacking circumstance. Like you have a silvered weapon now, and I'm asking if silver weapons also apply when you're casting magic weapon on them.
It should.
Well,
Yeah,
actually,
there's the same. It's going to grant you the same benefit. The only difference is there's some monsters that silver has no impact on.
Okay.
It's just some are affected by silver, some aren't. So magic weapon gets rid of that whole concern altogether. So adding magical weapon won't will as long if silver isn't the only if they're immune to silver, then yeah, it should
Which-
stack. I don't think it'll be a problem. We'll worry
It
about
makes
it
it
when
just
we come to
a
it.
it makes it just a +1 weapon essentially, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Like that's
Yep.
all the spell does.
and
Yeah.
penetrate resistances. But if
Yeah.
you're silver already, you kind of already passed through the resistances. But you'll still get the +1 to hit and damage. I think.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's what
Okay.
I thought.
She says,
Cool.
"With that being said, I have one gift to bestow upon you.
Oh.
Um, please come this way." And her robes are kind of flowing as she walks to the out onto this little balcony. She says, "I do not give this boon lightly, but after speaking with Fallister, I realize that I owe you much more than." Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what Jezebel did with your reward, and I don't have any more money, so this is the best I got. She
At
says,
least you're honest with me. Yeah, I appreciate
she
that.
says, gather in a circle, my friends, and join hands. I will plunge some of my raw energy of the weave into you. And a burst of energy rushes through your body and reinvigorates you guys. You guys begin glowing. You kind of turn Super Saiyan for a second. Congratulations, you just leveled up.
Oh, wow. That's
The
not what I
the
expected.
flow of the weave has enhanced everything about you.
That's
All right,
an interesting way to put it.
yeah.
Huh. Cool.
I'm trying to read some stuff. Okay, all right. She says, if you wait a moment, she whistles, and you see several griffins land atop of the balcony. She says, "My friends here will take you to Traxagor's tower. You're not afraid of flying, are you?"
Oh, and I jump on.
I mean, nah, I'm fine. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, you guys jump off and you take off into the sunset high above Candle Keep. You can see farther than you've ever seen before. Except for maybe Merle, who's
Maybe
probably
Merle,
flew
yeah.
really high. Just Merle, you don't really need one. Do you want one?
sure.
Okay, you don't really
It's
need
like,
it, but because you
I
can
don't have
fly.
to use my boots.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure griffins fly faster than his boots.
I think
Maybe.
they do. I don't have the stat block in front of me, but all right. I think that's where we're gonna end our session today. They fly at 80 feet.
Moly.
Holy
They
cow,
fly
80
feet.
feet. That's fast.
So yeah, they're much faster. So you would be out of breath with your little jet boots.
Well, he wouldn't be out of breath.
I
He's just gonna
know,
float.
I'm being stupid. Anyways, yeah, that'll be the end of our session. I know there wasn't any combat. Did you guys still enjoy it?
Yeah.
Oh my
That's fine.
gosh.
So
That was a lot.
It was a lot.
lot of
I knew it was gonna
information.
break free from the shield. Just needed one more try.
So yeah, I was surprised you still willingly gave it up.
It was controlling me. I don't want that.
Are you sure?
That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted, and I didn't want to use. I didn't want
Yeah.
to be stuck with the idea of having to use only a one-handed weapon when I took great weapon fighting.
Yeah.
So
that'll
I
do it.
it does hinder me
A
at
little
some
bit.
points.
All right, well that'll do it for our game tonight. Thank you all for joining it. I really had a blast tonight. Why don't you go around the table, tell us who your character is and something you learned or liked about the game today. Starting with Matthew.
Yes, I am Matthew, and I played Chiron, the Tiefling Paladin, sworn the Oath of Vengeance. I loved this session because we got to do a little bit of lore investigation, which I don't think we've done much
Been
to
a
this
while.
extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's been
I
interesting.
enjoyed this. I actually like having at least one session every once in a while where we don't have combat. Sorry, Ian.
It's like I was
Uh,
sleeping.
uh, But yeah, this was fun. And then there's the reference of our Azure Crows group.
I'm gonna be
my
honest.
biggest hope is that we are able to rescue them and get the heck out of the
It's funny you
Avernus.
think they need rescuing. You know,
Yeah,
I've had.
when we're the lower level ones.
I just have to say, I've had that plan since day one, and it pissed me off every time I saw you bring it up in chat. I was like, I'm gonna get there.
He literally messaged me privately today. He's like, "Oh man, I think the Azure Crows are gonna appear this time." I'm like, "Bro, they probably will. Just give it time."
Yeah, no, right from the beginning, I knew I was gonna have them do something. So, being
I thought it was just well, to be fair, I thought it was gonna be an encounter like what we did with in the Dragon Heist. I thought it was gonna be something like that kind of encounter, but
I didn't run Dragon Heist, bro.
Yeah,
I
that was
know.
different DM, so he's probably gonna do it differently.
Right.
Yep.
All right.
But,
What about you, Ian?
I had fun. I had fun with Merle digging through a library and coming up with crap. So
You also made people believe that your amazing contraption was actually just a flashlight.
Oh my god, I cannot believe you pulled that on me, dude. I didn't even think to ask what it was. You're like, it's a flashlight. I'm like, oh my god.
He's like, it was just a fucking flashlight.
That was
Looks pretty good.
genius.
just the way I
Awesome.
drew it made it more amazing than it actually was.
Right, right. This is fascinating. It's a lamp with a shutter on it.
It just goes.
All right, and of course we have Austin.
My favorite part of the session was telling the demon shield to fuck off. Got to tell him double like, haha, you don't own me anymore. Sorry. I'm actually if anything, I'm gonna tell you you're a bartering chip. You're worse than a shield. Large.
All right.
Honestly,
yeah, I was interested to see what you would if you would have rolled low and still be stuck on it, man.
The odds are so low for me to actually roll low enough to be stuck.
Yeah.
Because of my insane wisdom. But yeah, not zero. So if I was gonna be stuck with it, I had a semi-contingency plan, but it didn't happen, so I'm not gonna delve
Not
into
worry
it.
about it, right?
Yeah.
All right, and of course I am your dungeon master, Total Dumas. If you enjoy this, please join us. We try to do this every 2 weeks. Sometimes it gets scattered about, but for the most part, we do it every other week. If you'd like to check out our show, please come and check us out on Sunday. We record at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm really excited to talk about weapon perks. We always bring you new and creative content for you to bring with you on your next adventure. And honestly, we always... What's that?
For once, it's our material.
It's true.
Yeah, that actually, it's funny because we've got almost a dozen things out, and we've only recovered our product once, and that was the free gun mage.
Well, the thing too, though, is like even though it just came out, it became a capper seller pretty dang quick.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is it's one of those things, we're biased towards our own product, but we're not really leaving a review. We're just sharing what's in it and the content. And I think that's the difference, you know?
Sure.
Because you can't review your own content. I think it's great, but that's, you know, because I wrote it all. But I think it's fun to inspire our listeners. So I'm really excited for that. Like I said, if you'd like to support us, head on over to critacademy.com. We have a plethora of best-selling content. We have lots of good stuff there. Or you can just sign up for our newsletter. Every single week on our show, we give away fat loots, adventures, one-page adventures, villains and lairs, savage seas, all that stuff is just, all you gotta do is sign up. So, all right, that'll do it for our show today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Let's all wave goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Keep your blades sharp and spells prepared, heroes.